The opinions expressed on the Custody Queen Show are for informational purposes only and are not a substitute for personal, professional legal advice. The persons discussed are fictional and not based on actual clients.
Thought it was love, had kids in between. You can count on us, we're the Custody Queens. Yeah, you can count on us, we're the Custody Queens.
All right, everyone, happy Saturday. It's another beautiful day with the Custody Queens. We are very excited for our guest today, Dr. Edward Parks from Face and Body. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on our show today.
Appreciate it.
Yes, and Edward Park was voted Best Doctor in the Inland Empire magazine. And Dr. Park is a board-certified plastic surgeon. And who doesn't love to have a plastic surgeon, in your Rolodex? At my age, having kids, I'm all for it, man. If it makes you feel good, do it.
That's exactly right. We were actually, Kristen and I were already doing our consultations before the show started, so lots of fun.
Yeah, I've been watching Mr. Park's Instagram and the videos, and he does a lot of reconstructive surgery, from what I can tell. Correct. And the videos they're really great. That I love that the patients allow you to show it, because it shows the real life aspect of women at our age, and you want to feel good in your own skin. Yeah,
and that's what it's all about. You mentioned reconstruction. Background is doing a lot of breast cancer reconstruction, where I trained at Stanford. It's a 6-year residency program, and it is in plastic and reconstructive surgery. I finished at age 33, which is pretty late.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long road, but it's definitely worth it. And just like you said, the patients, I thank them for being able to share their stories.
Yeah, I love when even our clients, when you can hear the real life story of the patient and you can actually see the process, it hits me. And I'm like, I love that woman doing that surgery, she's going to just feel good in her own skin. It's probably something she's been wanting to do for a while. Yeah. And I know that I have things that I would love to do. I've had 3 kids, and you just want to feel good. And my note to everyone listening is, don't care what other people think, or don't listen to the haters or the opinions. I love when someone wants to give me advice that I haven't talked to in 5 years. It's like, you listen and thank you, but you do what is good for you.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's funny because I was asking you what you do and about divorces and custody battles and such. And one of your questions, I think, was about, how many women come in after divorces, or a female may come in and say, oh yeah, my husband wants me. I really want you guys to do it for yourselves. And right. I feel that's really, really, really important. So just like you said, let's do it for them to feel better and confident, I feel.
No, I agree. Even going through a divorce, when we do a consultation, and if I can tell that someone hasn't made that decision, or they're making the call because their mom wants them to have a consultation, you lay out the process and you kind of go through how it all works. But at the same time, I don't want to take a case if someone isn't ready. I always encourage people: have you tried therapy? Have you tried doing alternatives to try to save the marriage? Because if you're not ready, you shouldn't be hiring an attorney.
Right.
Yeah.
Hiring a plastic surgeon.
Yeah, I really couldn't agree more. I think it is really important for everyone to kind of dig deep and make decisions for yourself. It's really all about positivity. It doesn't mean you have to change your body after a divorce, but hey, I was talking to Dr. Park before we even started, if you have certain things about yourself and you want to even just ask questions, it's a good place to start. You should ask questions because there's a lot out there for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a menu. I'm like, okay, I could do this and this and this.
The list is endless.
Exactly. And it's plastic surgery was kind of taboo, like divorce 10 years ago, but now it's so common. It's like you have to live in your own skin, and if you look in the mirror every day and there's something you don't like, then do something about it.
Right.
And make decisions for you. Do not make decisions for anyone else, with any aspect in your life.
Right, and this is a little bit of a brag about Dr. Park, but Kristen and I always preach that you should pay attention to who you are getting a service done by. For attorneys, for plastic surgeons, that's very important. There's a lot of great surgeons out there. There's also a lot of not so great surgeons out there. So if you're interested or you're looking into doing something like this, Kristen and I highly recommend Dr. Park.
Yeah.
And Dr. Park, how can our listeners reach you? Do you have a website, Instagram?
Yeah, correct. So the website is Face and Body, so face_body.com. That's the most common. The Instagram is face_body plastic surgery. So those are probably the most common ways to get in contact.
Awesome. Now, what would you say is the most common surgery that people do, maybe following divorce or any kind of life-altering, change in their life? What do you think they get done the most?
I think the biggest life-altering thing for you guys is becoming a mother, right? And after having children. So most of my patients are moms, and you mentioned like 3 children. I have 4 children, and I could see the change in the body after pregnancies. And that's one of the things people don't really understand is when your muscles and your skin stretch at 9 months to harbor that baby, that will never turn back. And people will say, oh, diet and exercise. And to be honest, you can do that, but the muscles are separated and there's extra loose skin. Right. So that's where I come in. And people think, oh, a tummy tuck is vanity. I look at it as more being reconstructive. Right. Let's get back your body that used to be in your pre-pregnant state, because you can't do that through diet and exercise.
I agree. And when you're saying that 9 months, I was thinking back when I just had my last, child at 39, and I gained, 50, 60 pounds, somewhere in there. It was COVID. I think I was having chips and salsa for breakfast at that point, DoorDash. But your body does change. And, and my son is turning 3, and I kind of had a conversation with myself in January, and I said, okay, you can't say you have a baby anymore if your baby's turning 3. So I started working out, I got a trainer, and I got really strict with my diet. But as you said, there's just certain things that don't fix themselves because I've had 3 kids.
So I look at you, you're super tiny and petite and great shape, but I always ask a mom, is there loose skin, below the belly button?
Yes.
Or is there...
Kristen's not shy, if anyone was wondering.
I
am not shy.
That.
I am not shy. I would love to wear, I don't think I've worn a bikini since I've had kids. And, my husband always says, what's up with the one pieces? And I was like, I love them. I feel comfortable. But a part of me is like, my body's different.
Right.
I'm not the same that I was before I had kids.
It's funny you mentioned that, because my goal literally in that consultation for a tummy tuck, or in my case, I call it a contoured abdominoplasty procedure, is...
I like the sound of that.
If you do not get into a bikini, I have not done my job.
Ooh, I love that.
So,
I'm calling Dr. Park right after this. Let's get me in next week.
She's going to follow him to the parking lot.
What non-invasive procedures do you offer?
So my practice is fairly large in terms of the setups. I have my own surgery center. I do have my own med spa, and so those are the non-surgical aspects. And so, for example, I fortunately have a really good nurse practitioner and a PA, physician's assistant. They're somewhat independent to do all of those non-surgicals. You've probably heard of them before: fillers, Botox.
Oh, I've never heard of those.
No. Not on this face, wink, wink.
For sure.
Yeah, never.
But
on
if you
speed
need
dial.
the little assistance, yeah, those are all of the any type of filler. I have an esthetician. Her name's Lisa, and she does hydrofacials. So everything from the
You got it all.
It's all covered. It's all kind of a one-stop shop. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make like a weekly appointment.
I know, Kristen. Let's start going on Wednesdays.
We're not too far. So.
Do you have any current specials that are going on right now?
There's always specials, but currently I'm so passionate about mothers. For mommy makeovers, currently we've got free silicone implants, which is a pretty good value. And just to clarify, a mommy makeover, again, is when I'm addressing both the tummy and the breast together at the same time. Again, those two areas stretch, right? The breast and the tummy. So mommy makeovers, free silicone implants, and then also we have anything over $5,000 procedure-wise, $500 off. So it's kind of a nice little for Mother's Day.
I was just going to say, Mother's Day is coming up.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what made you get into sort of this field?
Oh, that's a tough question. So when I was little, I enjoyed building Legos and model airplanes. So I always liked to do stuff with my hands. So I knew I wanted to do surgery and medicine, and plastic surgery is probably one of the most creative areas that, we actually train in hand surgery, burn surgery, craniofacial, cleft lips and palates, and then of course aesthetics. And so just by going from skin to bone, head to toe, it's just a fun field. I have 4 kids, and hopefully one of them might become a doctor.
Your wife is a saint.
I know, she's
3
my
and I am maxed
inspiration.
out.
I know. You can do one more and
No.
get 4.
Shop is closed.
But yeah, she's my angel. But I tell my kids, they go, "What do you do, Dad?" I go, "I operate." And I say, "It's like building Legos." And they're like, "Oh, that's so cool." Except
Very
on
cool.
bodies. Yeah.
Very cool.
And now that you said it, it is a very creative process because like a patient is really trusting, the doctor to create what they envision they're going to look like. You guys have so much discretion of what you're doing. And again, like Sam said, hiring an expert, it requires research, it requires the consultation, and there has to be trust on both sides. Just like when I'm talking to a client that's going through a divorce, if that client doesn't trust me or I don't trust the client, that relationship's not going to work. But whenever you're hiring an expert, do your research. Do not just take Google reviews or Yelp reviews. You don't want to go find a plastic surgeon on Yelp. I don't recommend that, but
But you can find it on the radio on Saturday morning.
So anyone listening, make the call to Dr. Park. Orange County, he's local. He's in the Inland Empire, but it's just a short drive. All these specials going on. Just plan a day. Go get it all done. I mean, that sounds like the best Mother's Day ever.
So, Dr. Park, what's the process? So if someone's interested in getting something done, do they give you a call, set up a consult?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's as simple as that phone call. Our number is 909-981-8985. But simple as making a phone call, schedule a consultation. That's when I will meet you personally on that very first visit. And I like what Kristen said. It's all about trust in that initial consultation. In the old days, the surgeons would be like, "Oh, you need 500 cc implants, right?" But nowadays, patients, you guys are so intelligent that they come to me with like the reading and the planning. So the most important thing for me is just to listen.
Right.
And so we were talking about artistry. I tell them, look, I need to understand your vision of what you want your body to look like, and I will try to then artistically, portray that.
I like that.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about myself and the journey, and it's like what you want as a 20-year-old versus what you want as a 40-year-old is totally different. When I just look at the transformation that I've made, and you change. And I agree, you become more intelligent, and for me, it's like I want to look professional. I don't want that crazy look. I want to be able to go on a run and, just feel like myself.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Park, we saw that you've been awarded a grant for stem cell research.
Oh, wow. That was eons ago, but yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? That was very interesting to me.
Yeah. So I trained at Stanford again, and that's a very academic program where we did a lot of research. You've probably heard of stem cells. And what are they? They're essentially cells that hopefully we can develop them into a particular line. The most common areas that we use stem cells now, you may hear it, is called PRP. That's basically a fluid called platelet-rich plasminogen, some fancy word. But basically we draw your blood, and let's say I'm doing a laser procedure on you, Sam.
Okay.
And then that's going to kind of peel the face. Then we can put those the PRP onto the face, and those are supposed to have stem cells.
To help regenerate
everything? Exactly, and to help build collagen.
Got it.
So that's kind of the most common area.
To make us not look tired.
To make us look younger, tighter skin.
The good
all
news
of that.
is there's a lot we can do.
It's endless.
All right, well, we are introducing a new game, and it is called the CQ Talk Box. And shortly, it will be available to everyone to buy. But it's just an engaging game that allows you to sit with friends, family. There's age-appropriate questions depending on if you're doing this with your children or if your husband or you're having a girls' night. But it's fun, it's inviting, it's engaging, and from what I've learned of just asking these questions and listening, I think that was something I really had to get better at in the last couple of years, is listening. But you really learn a lot about, who you're doing it with. Like, when I sit and I do this with my daughter, like her responses to me, I'm literally amazed that she's 8 giving me these responses. But it's such a fun, engaging little conversation that you can have with anyone and learn about them.
Yeah, and I think it's particularly important and something that Kristen and I are very passionate about in the family law realm, because there's a lot of sort of implicit biases going on, or you may think, opposing party or dad or your child is upset for a certain reason. And so the idea behind sort of CQ Talk Box is, hey, if we can kind of take a step back and listen to what everyone else has to say and really absorb that, then we can be better families, better co-parents, and kind of move forward that way.
Yeah, my relationship with my children of just asking questions and listening has really improved. And even with my husband, just we'll be in the car and, I'll just pull out a question and be like, hey, babe, what do you think about this? And I'm always just kind of belittled by the responses, because you may think they're going to say something, but you really learn just more about whoever you're doing this with and your relationships.
And I think it kind of actually goes back to what Dr. Park was saying about having a consultation and listening to what your clients want, or what their goals are, expectations are. It allows you to sort of be involved in the process. I mean, you're ultimately the surgeon and the artist, but you can really get from them what they want, what their goals are, rather than you kind of putting your own ideas in there first. So that's the idea behind it.
It's perfect, Sam. And that's what we do with our clients too. And I'm sure Dr. Park does the same thing. Is, someone will call, what is the run-of-the-mill divorce? What does that cost? And there is no run-of-the-mill divorce. Every divorce is unique, and there needs to be a custom strategy for every case and every client. And just like Dr. Park said, someone can come in and say, I want this tummy tuck. But if Dr. Park doesn't understand exactly what their vision is, then the expectations are not being managed either. All right, so let's start with the talk box. I'm going to start with you, Dr. Park.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question, and I just want whatever you're feeling inside. I just
we're
want,
just gonna listen.
we're just going to listen.
We're going deep.
What do you love doing that makes you happy?
Oh, wow, there's so much. I love spending time with my family, my wife and my 4 kids. Just like you said, listening to them. I just got back from an awesome birthday week with them at Mammoth, watching my 4 kids snowboard. I mean, it's just probably my favorite.
How old are your kids?
So I have 3 boys and a girl, 16, 13, 11, and my daughter, Princess, is 8.
I have an 8-year-old daughter too, and she's my princess too.
Right.
You got a lot of hormones going on in that house.
It's never a dull moment.
I couldn't agree with you more. When I looked at this question, there are a lot of things that make me happy as well, but just simple things like going to Disneyland with my kids and looking through my 2-year-old's eyes of seeing Goofy, that it may just seem so mundane because we have passes and we go a lot, but there's something when I walk through those doors, it's like the stress just releases from me, and I really just get to see it through my kids' eyes. Now my daughter's getting to the point where she's like, these rides aren't scary. I want to go to Knott's and go on Hang Time, which is this crazy. She made me go on that, and I about had a heart attack. And, she's got her arms up, and we're flipping like 3 times. So she's getting to the age where, she's like, I want to go to Magic Mountain. Disneyland doesn't have it's just not scary enough, Mom. But then my 2-year-old, he literally sees Goofy, hides behind my leg, and just the smile just brings so much joy. And then, my 5-year-old, he loves everything. So I agree, spending time away from the office, away from work, not looking at emails for a day, and just really engaging with my children and my husband.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, for me personally, though, I love adrenaline. I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie.
Sure, so you and Sam.
I love to race and golf.
Have you ever been shark diving?
I haven't done that, but now you're
Well,
scared.
we have, just so you know.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Sam made me do it.
I dragged
sounds
Kristen
scary.
shark diving, and there wasn't a cage, but we both made it back.
Yeah, we are going to do the cage. That's one of our next adventures. But the funniest thing was, you're trolling for the shark, and they have the bait out, and then everyone yells shark, and then all of a sudden we all jump in the water, which is usually shark, everybody's jumping on the boat, but we see the shark and we're all jumping in, and I'm like, this is absolutely crazy. But
I did have the fear moment. The only time that I had fear was when you and our other friend Ashley jumped into the water and you were swimming through the tuna chum.
Yes.
I was kind of like, I really hope the shark doesn't go, because you guys are smaller. You're more tuna fish like than me. I don't think that I'm the.
And we're looking, and all the guy has is like a pole, right? All he has, is
That's
to
it,
protect
to
us.
work.
And I'm
Wow.
like,
And then
this
they eat
is
the
really
tuna.
crazy.
Yeah.
Not you.
No.
Tuna.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah.
Sam and I
Sounds a
do
little-
we do like the adrenaline. I think she wants to go skydiving. I kind of
Nice.
draw the line there, but I
Draw the line in like that's the limit that
no,
you'll do, or
I
you
just
will
don't
not
think I
do
could
it.
do it. Maybe if you put me on your back.
Yeah, let's do it.
Maybe if you put me on your back and I was like,
You don't want
forced.
me to be on.
Okay, I
I
don't want
should
your
not
back.
be driving the ship. That will be.
Tandem dive.
Yeah.
I'll have
That
my
would be
SEAL
fun.
team buddy Tyler Gray. I'll do it with him. He's probably done it 150 times. But that's probably the one thing that scares me. Like I do things without thinking a lot. Jumping off 40-foot cliffs and
Whoa.
I love doing things, but I don't really think. But the skydiving, that gets
You've
in my
got
head.
3 kids to get back
That's
to.
kind of what like. I don't know if my husband could handle all the kids if I wasn't here.
Yeah, I think you just ask
No.
for forgiveness after you do the jump.
There you go.
Sam, what makes you happy?
Adrenaline definitely, but mostly sleep. Sleep makes
I'm there
me.
with you,
I
girl.
just, I really enjoy my sleep. We all get cranky during the day and stuff like that, but I've just really honed in on the idea that sleep really fixes everything. So
does.
I can take a nap anywhere at any time, and there's nothing sleep can't fix. So that is what makes me happy.
And her dog, and Pam.
Yes, and my dog. She is a long hair Irish cream wiener dog.
Wow.
And she loves to kill and eat birds.
Yes,
Whoa.
I did think that my mom jokes, because you know how like everyone's always like, oh, my dog's like a little human. My dog's 100% dog. My dog
Okay.
takes down lizards.
What is she? A centipede?
Yeah, she snouted a centipede to its untimely end.
Wow.
Yeah, she's an absolute. I mean, they're bred to be badger hunters.
Nice.
So yeah, but she's cute. That's about it. She's also a dog. She's very dog-like.
All right, Sam, you have another card, right?
Okay. Yes.
CQ Talk Box question number 2.
CQ Talk Box question number 2. Okay, Kristen, I think you're gonna have to answer this one for me. But what do you think is my superpower?
Well, your brain is like your superpower because Sam is the attorney that she literally reads, and she's so intelligent, and she knows codes like the back of her hand. I have like a photographic memory, so I'll remember seeing something on a page. But Sam, her brain is her superpower. It truly is amazing, and I think that's why we work so well together. Is that my weaknesses are her strengths, and her strengths are my weaknesses. Did I say that right?
It's the anxiety. It's a wonderful compliment, but it's the anxiety that makes me know those codes.
Yeah, she has a brain like I've never seen before. It's very similar to my dad, who's been a guest. He has a brain like that too, and they're probably the only 2 people that I know. Well, I'm going to include Dr. Park in this because that's 6-year residency at Stanford.
Yeah.
But having that level of intelligence, it truly is a superpower.
Thank you.
Do you have a photographic memory?
I don't believe so.
It sounds like you do, though.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I honestly, I credit my anxiety. It's very functional.
Sam will be the one that I'll be driving to court and I'll be texting her, hey, what's that code about, the gifts or the marriage of altar? And she's like, texting me, and I'm like, okay, great. Like, I'm ready to go now. But Sam's superpower is definitely her brain.
Thank you very much. I would say Kristen's superpower is her confidence. Kristen, no, and it's a really true compliment because Kristen, she lights up a room and she can have every single person engaged immediately, which is important for business, but more important in family law, in my opinion. I mean, you can really truly go into a courtroom and have everyone sort of stop in their tracks. So I think that's your superpower.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'd like to say that, my motto in life has been kind of fake it until you make it. If you own it, and I think I've grown into my confidence, but I can tell you starting in my career, it was fake it till you make it. But you can't walk into a courtroom afraid or scared, regardless of who's on the other side. Even if it's, one of the best attorneys that's been practicing for 40 years, they smell that fear. So you have to literally own it and just be confident. But one of the best things that I think that I can bring to the table is relationships. It is so important to me. Business, personal, like even just with my kids' sports, creating relationships and networking, it just gives, the world gets so much bigger. And then you have a trusted circle.
Yeah.
You know, and I really truly am going to see Dr. Park like next week. You know, like I'm ready to rock, you know, get that summer
Building
body.
Relationship.
So everyone listening, it's, you know, I'm going to say it again. Do things for yourself. Do not do things because your husband wants you to, because your neighbor thinks you should do it, or, you know, your one of your parents says, oh, you know, you should lose 10 pounds. Do it for you. Because if you don't do anything in life for yourself, you're going to regret it, and then you get resentful.
Agreed. And I'm going to put Dr. Park on the spot since, you know, we're just kind of getting to know him. What do you believe your superpower is?
Oh, gosh, wow.
I know.
I
already have a good idea.
I'm going to piggyback on what Kristen said. I really, really like to listen to people and form relationships. And I think it's other people like building me up by just getting to know them and listening, like you said. I think if anybody could have a superpower, hopefully we all do it. But I'm striving to listen, and whether it's patients, my wife, my kids.
All the husbands out there, you listening?
There you go. Listen to your wives.
Listen to your wives. They give subtle hints. And, you know, I'm going to give a little shout out to my husband, because that's something that I have really, you know, asked him to listen more. And I will tell you, like, the last couple months, like, what a change. And he really is listening to me, and our relationship is just growing in different ways because he's hearing me. When I'm someone who will struggle and literally be bobbing, you know, in the water, and it's like I feel like people are looking at me like, oh, she's struggling, but no one's throwing me a boogie board to, you know, sit on. And so I tell my husband, I'm like, when you see that, like, I may not ask for help, but it doesn't mean I don't need it.
Right.
And big kudos to my husband, because he has really stepped up in the last few months, and even doing laundry. Like,
wow,
I'm like,
you got a winner.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, we've been together
awesome.
for like 16, 17 years, so it's a long time. But it's building relationships and continuing to work every relationship that is important to you. Whether it's your realtor, your doctor, you know, just be present and continue to build the relationships. And I also think your superpower is also probably your creativity. Because I watch your videos. There's just a lot of design and customizing and really creating what that specific patient wants.
Yeah, I really enjoy that part. Most of us have like an artistic background. My mom is a violin teacher, so I grew up playing the violin. So a lot of that I credit to her, the artistry in music and
That's
being
very
able
cool.
to.
I couldn't even play the
implement that.
recorder.
I fake played the clarinet for like 5 years.
I
My mom
played-
bought me one. My mom bought me one in school, and I was too scared to tell her I didn't like it, so I just kind of sat up there.
I did the recorder for about a
tried.
month, and I got vetoed in the house. There's no there. I am creative in like a marketing sense, but like drawing, playing instruments, like no dice, like horrible. Oh, like my 2-year-old could probably draw better than me.
Yeah, I can't draw a straight line with a ruler.
So don't want to assist me in surgery.
Right? No, I just you got it. You'll do it for me.
Well, what a great show. We had so much fun with Dr. Park, and everyone listening, make the call. Do not wait. Whether you want a hydrofacial, because I know I want one, whether you want Botox or the new tox, you know, I'm assuming you got that. Make the call and just do something for yourself. Self-care is so important. This is for men. This is for women. You know, give your spouse the gift, or your partner the gift of going and just spending time by themselves and taking care of themselves. But you can call Dr. Park at
909-981-8985.
And I really highly recommend Dr. Park at Face and Body. Have the consultation. I know that everyone listening is probably thinking, I really wanted to change this, and you've probably been doing it for years. But make the call Face and Body. All of the information is listed below. And, you know, go on his Instagram, send a DM, and make an appointment. Do not wait.
Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Park.
Thank you both. It's been fun and an honor.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us on this happy Saturday. And we look forward to seeing you next Saturday on Go Country 105.
And don't forget to give us a call at 1-800-419-7772.
That's 1-800-419-7772.
And remember,
Let love rule.